In the video of the first part of this project, you saw me preparing vinegar glue and applying it on a small area where the paint was getting in risk to be lost. Well, I did apply it, some time did pass, so the chemical reaction had time to happen, and when I apply this kind of glue, in situations as this one, it is important to apply also some heat. And that is exactly what I'm going to do. I do have this small hot iron I use for situations like this, and I apply the heat not directly but over a piece of paper in order to protect from direct contact of the hot iron and the painting. To prevent the glue from drying too quickly, I did apply some Japanese paper over the area I wanted to repair. But now, I need to remove that paper. After this procedure, I can remove the paper, and for that, I use normal distilled water, and the paper will absorb some of this water that will soften and making it easy to come out. With the help of a small spatula, I can carefully remove the paper that will come out easily. First one layer, and after the second layer of the same paper that I did apply. After removing the paper, it becomes available for me to see that the vinegar glue did operate totally well. So the paint now is flat again and it is glued to the panel. So in the beginning we had the panel like this, but after the treatment, now we have it like this. I can now advance to the following step, which is the varnish removal. This painting is very dark yellow. Normally is also some dirt, but this deep yellow is mainly an old varnish that did not resist to the UV light effect. I have already the right solvent concentration I need, and I start already seeing the old varnish getting attached to the cotton swab. Even the little friend with 4 legs is starting revealing his real color. Not yellow, but white. This painting of David Cole that I'm restoring now portrays a normal occasion at home. 2 persons talking in a close way, another person is coming, and a dog. A totally normal and simple daily scene. This kind of painting was following a painting movement born in Holland called genre painting movement. Paintings showing this kind of moments made arise on that time a strong dilemma. Was art being produced, or it is a mere representation of the reality? And a lot of artists were facing this question. The search for representation of the environment in which the Dutch people live is constant. The artists are concerned with representing with high realism the perspective, the vivid colors, the details of the objects, even the lighting in the houses and environments. This kind of painting is in absolute contrast with the painting that was being done in another areas in Europe, such as France, Italy, Spain. The artists of those countries were producing a much more rich in scenario, in clothing, in general, much more baroque painter. In Holland, there were several artists that did follow this movement. David Teniers, Peter de Hock, Jan Steen, but the most important and talented of them was Johannes Vermeer. This painter was so virtuous in the detail, in the way he could paint the light. Really fabulous. If you'd like to know more about this painting movement and about those painters, make sure you check the links I have below in the description of this video. There you'll find several books that you may find very interesting. The process of removing the varnish is long and it is necessary to stay calm and to make several breaks so I can stay focused. Otherwise, it doesn't work well. But I'm getting very happy with the result because now I can start to see the colors that were resting under that yellow varnish and how beautiful they are. And after all this process, it was needed this and more of this. Finally, I can look at the painting with its real colors and the rough brush stroke of the artist. This defines a lot about him and his character. The next step I do is the application of the varnish that goes in between. It will isolate my retouch from the real paint on the panel, and in this situation I will use a synthetic resin that also will saturate the colors of the painting, helping me then when I have to mix the colors for the retouching. Comes now one of my favorite parts in the whole process of conserving and restoring a painting, the retouch. It is important for me to choose several brushes that initially I think I will need in the different areas to be retouched. By comparison, I choose which palette of colors suits better this project, and I come to the conclusion that is this one for now. Today you are going to watch me working with magnifying glasses. Although I know the existence of these for a long time, the truth is that I always thought that maybe I wouldn't need them. But thanks to a gentleman that did a comment in one of my videos about those and advising me that could be a good idea to acquire one of those, now I agree. I can be much more efficient. So, a big thank you to that gentleman on the comments. Once the retouching is done and dry, I can apply the final varnish. There are several different resins to make varnish, so now I choose one that the solvent doesn't mess with my retouching. And during the time I leave it to dry, I will clean some other parts of the frame. And also, I do need to put it together because there are some parts that did fall, so I have to glue them back. I will clean the side part of the frame with a mix of solvents that I do prepare, and this frame is beautiful. It is gold gilded, and now you will see the difference that exists in a gold gilded frame and another one that it's not. Maybe you have seen one of my past videos that I do restore a frame that it's not gold gilded. Maybe you remember that after I clean it, there was no shine. It was almost black, really not looking good. Now watch this one. It is dirty. It is old. But gold is gold. And gold doesn't oxidize. So watch how it shines again after I clean it. Just amazing. I also do clean the metal plate with the name of the artist, but during this procedure I do notice that there is a layer of varnish over the plate, and that varnish also needs to come out. But varnish solvents I do have several, so I'm happy it won't be a problem. Just needs some effort. Et voila. Starts to look better, no? And I'm sure you remember those parts that did fall from the frame. Well, here they are. First, I'm going to clean them, and unfortunately, I cannot show you the process of gluing them. You know, it's really bad, also frustrating, when we do realize that we did format to the wrong card, especially when you cannot film it again, unless you break the frame again, but that I'm not going to do. Being the frame altogether, I can start to assemble the panel and the frame. As usual, I will use some Z-clips, different sizes, because the panel is not all at the same level, so there are parts that are higher than others. Also, I will use a material between the panel and the Z-clip so it can make some room if the wood needs to expand. And the moment of truth has arrived. This work of the artist David Cole did arrive to me in a difficult, poor condition. Dirty, very, very yellow varnish. Even the frame was a surprise and did break in some parts. But after the necessary dedication, the painting did wake up again. And now, it is very alive. It is a beautiful work by David Cole, and now I think it is fair to pay him a compliment because of his talent. He is a truly example of an artist, follower of the genre movement painting. And now, all that might watch this video are also more familiar with it. I invite you to check the suggestions I have in the description of this video. Thank you very much for watching, and I meet you on the next video.